So when you moved back from Arizona, did you move back to LA with a job, with an internship, with something to do, or did you just move back and then just started hustling from there?
Yeah, I was really fortunate, and again, my whole journey. Funny enough that I never got to play, past high school in baseball, but everything that's happened to me, baseball has been the through line to it all. So I had a
Right.
baseball coach when I was 15 years old, in pony leagues here in Los Angeles. Great guy. His name was Bill Barnett, and at the time he was not a movie producer. He was an entrepreneur. He had he was in real estate. I think he had something in the radio business. Just the greatest guy, and he really treated me like I was his somewhere between his little brother and a son. But he was probably like 35 or 40 years old. He'd only been married a couple of years. Greatest guy. I'm off to college, keeping in touch with him in between. And as I'm getting ready to graduate, I reach out to him and I tell him, that I'm looking for a job. And at this time, he's got a production company now. Now he's in the movie business, and he's making movies that he was getting kind of financed himself. And he gave me the opportunity to come and work for him and his partner. And they gave me the job of selling the movies that they were making all over the world internationally. So I got that job. While he gave me the job when I was about to graduate. I graduated, I'll never forget it, May 15th in 1996. They needed me May 21st. Wow. And I was like, oh my gosh. First, I was so psyched to have a job, but I really wanted to maybe take the opportunity to travel, go see the world a little bit. But it wasn't even a question. I knew I had to go. I had to get to work. I had the opportunity. I couldn't miss it. I took it. And so all of a sudden I'm traveling to Italy, France, South America, and I'm making deals, selling American movies, sometimes to people, from countries all over the world, Russia, Spain, everywhere. And I'm making deals with people for movies. And sometimes we weren't even making deals in English. Like, I didn't speak the foreign language. They weren't speaking English. And we were wheeling and dealing. It was cool. Yeah. I made amazing friends when I was doing it. And so it taught me that I thought that I knew how to make deals, and that I could make fair deals, and that people could feel good after the deal. Like, they felt good. I felt good. And I really, really learned about the business, and I learned about how to connect with people. And sometimes even when you're not speaking the same language. I did that. So he gave me that job. It was an unbelievable experience. But I really wanted to be back, like in the hub of Hollywood, which some of my internships were. One of my internships was for Mandalay Entertainment, which was owned by Peter Guber, who now owns Golden State Warriors and is a notorious movie producer as well. So I interned there, and I loved being on the movie studio lot. I loved being around, the big sets and the sound stages. And you would see a star here and there. And it was a really historical lot. It was the original lot. It used to be MGM. So it was the original lot where Wizard of Oz was shot. So I would be getting out of my car and I'd be walking to where my job was halfway across the lot. But you're literally walking now it's asphalt, but then it was the original yellow brick road from Wizard of Oz. Yeah. And so the history got like deep in me, and I felt like I needed to be back I wanted to be in like the real hub of the music, where the foreign distribution side was really interesting, but it was a little bit on the periphery, at least in my mind. And it's a really important part of the business, but I just wanted to be kind of in the hub of it all. So I made a deal with myself. I had 3 criteria. And all my friends thought I was nuts. I said, and I would never recommend this now to the young people that I talk to when they're asking for advice. But mine was, I'm only going to work at the hottest agency or management company. I'm only going to work for the boss, whoever's like name is on the door, and I'm not going to work in the training program. And which, if you ever heard anything or everybody's listening, like, training programs are very notorious. That's how you start. At a lot of agencies and management companies, like, you cut your teeth there. And it wasn't because I thought I was too good for it or I had too much of an ego. And I've certainly been accused more than once or twice about having a healthy ego, and that's fine. I think everybody kind of has to in some place. But I felt that the internships I had, I did that job that was the training program then. When everybody else was off, doing what they did in the summer times, partying, and I partied too. But from 8 to 3 every single day, those couple years, I was working, and I was getting the food for people. And I was sitting in rooms with no windows, Xeroxing movie scripts for 7 hours, just catching fumes from the Xerox machines. And they would hand me, stacks of papers up to my nose to shred. Yeah. And I would be there for hours. But I figured, well, if they're giving me something to shred, that there must be some important stuff on there, and I would read it before I shredded it. So I would learn
Good
as much
call.
as I could, and I learned, and I got to see some things, really, really cool stuff. And I figured, look, I'm working for free. Let me get something out of it.
Yeah,
I'm
of
going to get the
course.
whole experience. And they would give me envelopes, and I would sneak into the bathroom and like steam them under hot water so I could open it and see what's inside, and then like seal it back up. Like, I just had to get it. And so that's why I felt like I thought I could circumvent those things. And I was able to. I got a job at a really high profile company at the time. It was pretty much the hottest company in the business, called Addis Wexler at the time. And they had so many great young actors at the time. Like, it was like Leonardo DiCaprio after Titanic. Cameron Diaz, I think, was coming off of Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro was in Usual Suspects, and like the list went on and on. And I got a job there. They were hot. The boss needed an assistant. I interviewed with him like 5 times. I got the job, and it meant I didn't have to work in the mailroom, and there was a mailroom there. So that's what happened, and I got to work there for a little over a year, and then 2 managers broke off, named Rick and Julie Yorn, to go start another company called AMG that was run by a notorious ex-Hollywood agent named Michael Ovitz, who founded, the company CAA, and then later went on to run Disney, and then came back in the business and started this company AMG. And then I got an invitation to go be Rick Yorn's assistant. And he's really, to this day, one of my true mentors. He, first of all, pretty much kept every promise he ever made to me about teaching me and letting me learn. Taught me how to really work for clients and protect clients. And then mostly, I think the most important thing that I got from him that I try to carry out, and I hope people feel this way, is that you can still be successful, be a really good person.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
that was something that was really, really important to me, because like any business, you see a lot, and you see how people, can treat other people. And I just figured, I didn't want to be one of those. I wanted to try to be respectful to people, and kind of everybody starts off with an A with me. You got to earn an F.
Yeah.
And if you earn an F, then, I guess it's a different conversation. We'll start there. But yeah, I learned everything from him. And so I was a manager at that company for 2 years. Another company came in and bought it after a while, named The Firm. It was another really, really hot company. That lasted for me about another year. The company wasn't doing well, believe it or not, and they had to let go of a lot of people, and I was one of them. Actually, I was 28 years old at the time, and I found out that I was being let go. Not, for anything I did wrong, just, there were going to be cuts,
Yeah.
and I was gutted.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments, man, where everything you ever learned in sports, everything you ever hear, fighting, right? Like, who are you when you get knocked down, right? Who are you when you catch one really on the button and you just don't know what to do? And it was the first time in my life I was paralyzed for a minute, and then had some opportunities, got some calls, really thought I was going to stay in the management side of the business. And then I got a phone call from an agent at one of the top agencies named Nick Stevens, who called me over to his office and talked to me for at least 90 minutes about why he couldn't understand, for me being 28 or 29 years old at the time, why I was a manager anyway. He said, I just think you're more of an agent. I think you're a deal maker. I think you're a hustler. And I think that you're going to look out for people, and some of the hands-on things that managers do, maybe that's not so for you. And I just want to open your eyes. That's all I want to do, is open your eyes. If you want to come to UTA, maybe we'll have that conversation. If you want to go to William Morris, you can have that conversation. Other places, sure. But I think you're an agent, and I think you need to open your eyes. I walked out of there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is so, and I never thought an agent was for me. Never. I don't know if I thought I wouldn't be good enough, or if I just thought that, that what I knew about agents wasn't for me. But he got to me. He got like straight to my core. And I had already gotten a call, which I left out, from William Morris as I was leaving the firm, saying, hey, why don't, we have some opportunities here. Why don't you come think about being an agent? And I said, no, thank you, because I just didn't think that's what I want to do. So I immediately, because I left UTA, called William Morris and said, hey, I don't want you to hear from anybody else. I took an impromptu meeting, and I think I should come talk to you about being an agent. And Very long story. I'll try to make it short, but
Oh, no,
I
of course.
decided to go there because it was, I felt at the time, a place that needed me as much as I needed it, and I needed it a lot. Given what my history was, I needed a place with a foundation and a blueprint that maybe wasn't going through so much of this, and that was 19 years ago. Um, and they gave me an unbelievable opportunity at the time, the old agency. I had no idea how to be an agent. I was a manager. All my clients had agents, so I couldn't take any clients there. I went there with nothing, literally, and I got some really good advice from Michael Ovitz, who I worked for before I took
Hmm.
the job, about how to go in there and try to shine. And things worked out pretty well. I went on a nice run, signed some clients, and then 7 years into it, the merger happened with Endeavor, where it became WME, which it is now. And I have to say that they treated me, in my opinion, like I was an original Endeavor employee from
Right.
day one. Took me in, let me kind of be myself, which was really important. I became a partner a few years in. I ran the talent department for 4 years, and now it's been like 11 years, and that brings us to right now.